And we're live. Hi, Jerry.
Hey, how are you?
This is the fifth time we've done this today.
It's okay. We're going to do it with as much passion, verve, and vigor as the first and maybe the third. So,
True. All right. So we have an amazing topic to discuss today. So let's get right into it. We are talking about the big launch that is still ongoing, which is us launching the nationwide USPS residential and vacancy data on landgrid.com, which means that we have now added this amazing data set of vacancy data, mainly, also residential, to both our parcel data set for bulk licensing and to our mapping platform
yep.
for our pro and enterprise customers. So essentially, on both ends of our solution spectrum, people should be able to view this data and take advantage of it now that it's launched.
Yeah, it really is kind of a big deal, and it also indicates a big deal for us as a company, I think, because we have a massive nationwide parcel footprint data set, right? 144 million parcels. It covers 95% of residents of the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
And typically, what we've shown to people and what we license to our bulk customers are parcel footprints, addresses, owners, assessments, zoning, information that we get from county level public records.
Yeah.
And within our tool set, people can import additional data they have onto their own maps. And that's great because we don't have all the data in the world. If somebody has a data set that they use for their business or from their local municipality, we make it easy to attach that to the parcels. But this is the first time where we've really released a nationwide data set that we've attached to that underlying parcel data. Mm-hmm. And we're going to do a lot more of that. But in this case, what the data set is from the U.S. Postal Service. It has a clear flag for every residential property in the country, which is interesting for many people just looking to see, like, in my city, I see all the parcel shapes. We have some zoning information that comes from the county government, but here's a uniform nationwide data set that puts a flag on every property that's a residence. Yeah. And that's interesting for a whole host of understanding where people are in a place, where housing is, how people are living. And that's really interesting to attach to other stuff. And then we have this vacancy data set, which is sort of near and dear to us, I would say, because a lot of our earliest customers, coming out of Detroit, working around the Midwest, people are very interested in understanding which properties in their communities are vacant so that they can plan for them. Mm-hmm. And we've worked with this data set locally previously. I mean, this is essentially the mail delivery people go out to properties around the country. And while they're doing that, they take notes. They take notes on which properties are receiving mail, which properties aren't receiving mail. And so this vacancy data set is every property that has a building that should be receiving mail, but which is not currently
not receiving.
And so that means that, there's a variety of reasons why something could be vacant. There is a difference between vacant and fully abandoned. But we've made use of this data set previously. I know in some of our surveying projects, we've had people use our app to go from property to property, take pictures, make notes on conditions, land use, occupancy, and then sometimes we'll add other data sets to that survey. And one of the most helpful ones is the U.S. Postal Service vacancy, because it'll catch things that are vacant that a canvasser wouldn't catch. Mm-hmm. And then it'll also underline if a canvasser thinks something might be vacant, if it's not receiving mail right now, that's a really good indicator that the property is probably not currently inhabited. And so what we've done is we've attached this to as many of our 144 million parcels as possible. And as far as I know, it's the first time that this data set has been assembled nationwide in this way. And so we're still learning a lot ourselves. Like, we need to run these calculations. I mean, how many vacant properties in the country? What are the top cities that have vacancies? And so it's really cool. And we're psyched to have it out there for the different kinds of people that use our services.
Yeah. And so it's not much like what you said. It's not 100% one-on-one mapping to our 144 million parcels. Essentially, we can attach this USPS data set to the parcels that have a valid address attached to them, which is about 117 million parcels right now in our data set. And the USPS data set match rate at this point is at 76%. So it's about 89 million parcels, which is still quite a lot that has USPS data attached to it.
Yep, and improving. So
improving.
And so I think what this means for our site visitors and customers, there's a few things. So for those of us who know us or maybe just kind of tuning in, we offer, I'll say 3 broad solutions for people. We run the website at landgrid.com where anybody can go and they can look up parcel data for free, right? We ask you to create a free account on the site, and then you can look up owners and property shapes and different things. And then we have this pro level, which is an affordable upgrade that allows you to save maps and properties you're interested in, gives you some mapping tools so you can like filter and sort for kinds of properties you're interested in. It lets you import data to add data to your map, and it lets you do property surveys and share maps you make with people. So it's a whole suite of tools that hopefully scratch the itches of people who are just kind of property curious, but then are also like a very serious like GIS and map making tool for people. And then we have our enterprise set of folks, which are organizations that want multiple users. They want our support in helping get a project done. They want us to do integrations. And so this data set is really for the pro users and the enterprise users to have on the site. The pro users, if you pay your $10 a month or your $100 a year, you now have access to the USPS data right there along with everything else we get from the counties. Mm-hmm. For enterprise users, you can download spreadsheets of the data from your account. So if you want to take it out of the system, you can do that. We've seen in projects that we've worked on, I mentioned property surveying. This is just like a killer data set to have in there out of the box, because a lot of people, they're interested in vacancy. And, even if there's, every data set has its own quirks, I'll say, and we certainly don't control the U.S. Postal Service. I'm not sure if anyone was under that illusion, right? But this data set that's updated by mail carriers, every day, my understanding is that we can update it on the site about every 2 months.
2 months.
We'll see how that plays out in reality. But since we've gone through the work to put it together, we can more or less automate those updates from the source. And then, of course, for our parcel data licensors, this is an add-on that we're offering where if in addition to the parcel boundaries and fields that we get from the counties, if people are interested in integrating the vacancy and the residential flag, we can now offer that too. And this kind of shows, I think, where we're moving in the short and long-term future about taking this base data from the local municipalities and then adding a lot more to it. And we're excited. We have building footprints coming up next, a flag for if there's a building on the property or not. Mm-hmm. So hopefully people get excited about this, because I think the sort of the dream for us for our pro accounts is that, we've had excellent map making tools on there for a while, but we also want to start adding more data. So even the more sort of casual property researcher has access to a whole lot more in there. It feels really good being a member of the site. And then I can't wait to see what we get into helping communities where we've done property surveys previously, or helping people jumpstart a property survey by saying, here are your properties that are likely vacant in your community. You can start by taking a look at these and seeing which ones are problems and, which ones are maybe somebody who's just not collecting mail for a while, but it's otherwise maintained. Yeah.
So basically, this can be helpful to absolutely everyone, from people who are looking to make maps, getting into GIS, to historic districts.
I know. I think we're kind of in a unique spot that we get to say that and have that be true, because again, it's like this land grid, this underlying set of boundaries that subdivide the space of the country are so fundamental that they end up being useful for a whole variety of purposes. Mm-hmm. I mean, this bears out in our customer base, which is like everything from interested people to block clubs to larger community development groups to governments to businesses that run the range of hunting and recreation to solar to insurance to you pick your domain. It's fascinating, right? So yeah, integrating these things has an application that might be a little bit different for a whole host of people. Understanding how to reach people in residential properties, understanding where people are living, understanding which properties may be in love of some or in need of some tender love and care, some TLC. So yeah, we're psyched about it.
Awesome. All right. So I think that covers everything. We are going to give a shout out to our entire team for working so hard on this data and helping us get to this point. And for those of you who are interested, all you have to do is just come to landgrid.com. If you're a pro user, you already have it on your account. If you are using free, you may want to upgrade and see how you can access the USPS data. And then for enterprise accounts, you can reach out to us at enterprise@landgrid.com. And for bulk licensing, you can reach out at parcels@landgrid.com, or even simpler, team@landgrid.com. We have a bunch of different email addresses just for you guys to reach out to us, and we have a super friendly
email. Yeah, we should. It's not an effort to make it more complicated. It's to make it easier. But you can reach us through any of those channels.
Yeah, and then we have a super friendly team. Any one of us will jump right on it and help you get to your goals faster, sooner, and better. So yeah, and reach out to us. And if you're really curious about the vacancy data, then go to langdon.com/vacancy, and you can read all about how we got the USPS data, how that works, and some of its limitations as well. So that's a quick spiel on all things USPS, I guess. And
the point is, come check it out.
Yeah.
I think you'll find it useful, and if you want to work with us or have questions, just reach out to us. So
yeah,
we're excited to do this and more and more and more.
Absolutely, and we have a lot coming up, with Langdon.com. Jerry just mentioned building footprints, and we're constantly adding more to our data set, making our data more robust. So, stay tuned with us. Lots more coming here. And Jerry and I will be back with one of these soon. Hopefully this time with the first session.
We're going to nail it the first time next time.
Yeah. All right. All right, Jerry.
All right. I'll see you in email.
Bye-bye.
Bye.